Welcome to Spoiler Alert, where we talk about and spoil the shows you're obsessed with. This week, we ask ourselves, how did Sons of Anarchy handle Opie's death? We also postmortem Glee's big breakup episode. We have some Big Bang Theory romance scoop, and our good friend Michael Urie drops by to preview Monday's episode of CBS's Partners. Hello, Matt.
How are you?
So Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
Kind of a pivotal episode this week.
That was led into by a very strong episode.
Very strong episode.
Where Opie actually died.
I just watched my best friend get beaten to death.
Not totally satisfied with this episode. One issue I had with it was the Tara sort of violence, where Tara just went off. I felt like it was out of character. And I also felt like Gemma goaded her into doing it, and Tara really didn't have any confirmation that this woman...
And usually she's been pretty savvy about when Gemma's BSing her.
Totally.
And in this instance, she just suddenly isn't.
Right, her BS alarm did not go off. Instead, she just went in there basically fists flying.
And all I could think about was the cast on her hand. I mean, is she just resolved to never really ever practice medicine in any kind of way again? Because she's just wailing on the chick.
Well, that cast was a weapon, and almost protecting her.
And I get it. It's to basically say, she's given up. She recognizes this is her new life or whatever. But still, that kind of like took me out of the scene a little bit.
It felt over the top. And also, we were talking about earlier, surprisingly, the funeral was not very moving.
The procession itself, I felt like I was watching actors doing a funeral procession scene.
And maybe it's just because the previous episode was so good that this was just bound to sort of be a letdown. I mean, I'm still really loving the season. I love the dynamic between Jax and Jimmy Smith's character.
Yeah, I like the bond that they're forming. Now they're going to go into business together.
Partners, huh?
Jax and Tara, they're one of my favorite couples on TV. I don't know, they're just two people I really root for against all the odds. Tara did have this little detour that I wasn't crazy about, but for the most part, I love the two of them together.
I love you. I love you, Jax.
Another big episode this week, Glee's breakup episode.
Finally.
Totally lived up to its title.
This sounds a lot like a breakup to me.
Pretty much by the end of the episode, no one was together.
And it was terribly messy.
It was ugly.
I didn't know where you were, or even if you were okay.
So you were with him?
I kissed him, but that's it.
Blaine cheated on Kurt, which was surprising, Good to see that these characters are flawed.
I was lonely, and I'm really sorry.
But they didn't say who Blaine cheated on Kurt with.
Kurt begged him to tell him, and Blaine would not cough up the name. I understand that will be addressed later in the season, the who of it all.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's somebody we've met before.
Blaine already ruled out Sebastian because Kurt asked him that, so it's not Sebastian, so it could be someone else.
Okay.
Overall, I thought strong episode. Loved the final sequence where they cut to the classic clips of all the couples.
Yeah.
I have to admit I got a little misty-eyed.
It was just wall-to-wall drama, though. I mean, for Glee, that's all I remember. Glee is a comedy.
Right, there was no comedy in this episode.
At least as far as the Emmys are concerned, it's classified as a comedy.
Ryan Murphy is very proud of this episode, as he should be. It's a great episode, but, it begs the question at the end of the year, if this is their strongest episode, then would they consider a change to drama?
Well, that's the thing that Chris Colfer runs up against every year. I mean, he delivers some really good work. He has some great episodes as Kurt, but ultimately, they're not comedy episodes.
So we got a little Big Bang Theory scoop from the Emmys that I've been sitting on.
Yeah.
Romance-related scoop regarding Mrs. Wolowitz.
Howard!
We know she's getting a love interest.
Ma!
But how long will he be sticking around for, and what complications will it pose? Let's see what the producers had to say.
In an upcoming episode, we will learn that Mrs. Wolowitz may be seeing a fellow. This is a big deal in Wolowitz's life, so at some point he will dig a little further into how we'll explore his feelings about this subject.
We liked how it went, so we're thinking of doing a little more with it.
Yeah, interesting. But Mrs. Wolowitz, we're never going to see her, are we?
You saw her. If you look at the finale of season 5, if you looked at the last shot, freeze frame, she's in there.
The Google satellite shot of the roof. If you stop it, she's there.
She's there.
How did I miss that?
There's a giant pink blob.
You can't cast a pink blob, though.
Well,
do you think you'll ever cast that role?
Here's the thing. The actress who voices the part, if you ever saw her, you'd be so happy with how she looked as Wolowitz's mom. Yeah. But I think we're having fun.
We need to gain about 400 pounds.
That's right. Yeah, as best we can tell from the description, she's actually the size of a Mack truck. So, but I think we'll have fun doing it the way we're doing it.
Bang!
Oh.
What a scoop!
Where'd you come
Where'd
from?
you come from?
Hi, it's Michael Urie.
Thanks, Michael, for joining us.
Thanks for sharing that scoop with me.
Well, the fun is going to be seeing how Wolowitz's mother has a relationship, and we continue to still never see Wolowitz's mother.
If you were to see that character, who do you picture when you hear about that character?
A more scary Roseanne Barr.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, like a really scarier Roseanne Barr. Any invisible characters on Partners coming up?
No, they haven't established that yet.
Okay.
That would be really fun though, and we've had some ideas of like people that, we never see but we hear about. Brandon's character Wyatt is Mennonite, or was raised Mennonite, and eventually we're going to meet his Mennonite family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to the Mennonite farm for Thanksgiving, and we're going to
Hilarious.
meet a lot of the family. And I think there could be something in his world, a character in his world that we hear about but we never see.
But the whole Mennonite thing just, again, brings up the question, like, how Lewis and Wyatt ended up together.
Yeah, well...
Because they're so different.
They're so different.
Not bad, but we will do better, won't we?
Well, I think what's important is that we try as hard as
All right, man up. It's winning time.
And Wyatt has a past as a club-hopping alcoholic model. Like you hear about that, and now he's a sober vegan nurse. And you sort of get these glimpses of what Wyatt might have been like. Eventually, I hope that we get a flashback and we see. But I think the story, as it went, was that Wyatt left the Mennonite church and his family and went crazy, and became a club-hopping alcoholic, and then met me. And somehow I grounded him.
You rescued him.
Which is kind of amazing.
Which is amazing. And so I think, now he kind of grounds me. Wyatt kind of grounds Lewis, where we are now in the story.
Is it a man or a woman?
a woman.
Okay.
Or maybe it's a man?
Leslie Nielsen!
Oh my gosh, that's right! How did you know
Shut up, keep going!
But the sense I get is that at one time it was Lewis who grounded Wyatt. And we have even said, I don't know if it's aired yet, but we have even said that I was a huge part of sobering him up.
We were talking about this person last night.
John Travolta, Kevin Spacey, Tom Cruise, Will Smith, Eddie Murphy, Abraham Lincoln!
Are you having as much fun on the show as it looks? It seems like, and just following you on Twitter, how the cast, you're all interacting.
We get along really well. We're all, it's a tricky thing when you're forced to be best friends with people. But these people are awesome, and we're having the best time, and we all know how lucky we are to be working together on material like this with bosses like ours on a network that embraces and loves a multi-camera show.
Is that Derek Jeter? Looks like handsome Yankee shortstop of indeterminate race Derek Jeter.
How far ahead are you now? You're like...
We shot 7.
Just in the first 3 episodes, because I've seen the third, that I feel like it's getting progressively better and funnier. You guys seem to be finding your groove.
Absolutely. Once you pass the pilot, everybody's introduced, and you don't really need to learn anything new. You can just follow along with whatever the adventure is for the week. And so a lot of the onus is off explaining. So now when we shoot, it can be just about the storyline at hand, and they're getting to know us better and what's funny coming out of our mouths, and we're getting to know them better, so we know when we read a joke, we know exactly how to say it. And we're also starting to figure out how our characters react to the other characters, which is really fun, because we have, it's basically a foursome.
There's Lewis off of Joe, Lewis off of Allie,
right.
Lewis off of Wyatt.
Joe off of Wyatt, Allie off of Wyatt. There's a great storyline between Allie and Wyatt coming up. And this week, this new episode is just the 4 of us. There's no guest cast.
Allie and Derek Jeter. What?
Okay.
You guys are great together. I mean, from the
Me and
pilot,
Crumholtz?
yeah, the chemistry is
Thank you.
it's there.
That's Derek Jeter on a lounge chair with Allie at the Hard Rock in Vegas with 6 inches of clothing and 5 feet of drinks.
I got cast first, and when I found out it was him, that was when I understood the rest of Lewis. Like I figured, I knew how to do Lewis, I knew how to play Lewis, but it wasn't until I found out that it was David Krumholtz, who I'd always loved, that I knew how to react as Lewis.
Allie went from Derek Jeter to you.
And I love him. We talk every day.
And you're
It's
following
sort of silly.
Miss Becky Newton on Monday nights. How it doesn't get better than that.
We're on the same hour of TV again. Well, unfortunately, we're not in the same scenes.
You're not.
Or even in the same show. But it is really fun to sit down to watch Partners and watch How I Met Your Mother before and see her with that damn Neil Patrick Harris.
And meanwhile, Vanessa Williams has this scary new gig over on 666 Park Avenue.
Creepy, right?
Yeah.
It is a really...
It's great casting.
Oh my God, she's gonna be she looks amazing. She and Terry O'Quinn are so creepy. And I have no idea what the hell is gonna happen. And I'm really frightened.
It's great to see all the Ugly Betty peeps on TV. It feels like this season in particular, it's like they're everywhere. And do you miss the show?
Oh, so all the time. All the time. I miss it every day. I think about those people, and I think about how much fun we had and how lucky we were to have a job like that was not only popular but fun to do. We all have moved on to these other cool things. I mean, I love working on Partners, and I mean, Vanessa's had a great time on Desperate, and now she's working with these guys on 6. 6. And I think Becky's having a great time on How I Met Your Mother, and I know that she's having a great time on the new show.
Goodwin Games. Yeah.
That'll be on, I think, in January.
And you guys have the Ugly Betty movie to look forward to. How's that coming along?
Oh,
In 3D.
oh, it's an Ugly Betty movie musical 3D spectacular with Katy Perry. But
I would watch that.
I haven't heard anything about it,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well.
Wouldn't it be cool?
It would be cool.
10 seconds. Damn it, Wyatt!
He had hot desert sex with Allie!
Derek Jeter, next!
Michael, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
We are going to make some small
Or
talk.
at least pretend to.
Pretend to talk while the credits roll.
Louis! Wyatt!
We were supposed to be watching Swamp People!
Hey, I'm Noah Gould, and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV.
I'm Haley Steinfeld, and you're watching ENTV.